to this computer. So thanks for being here bright and early on a Tuesday morning. I do love this 8 a.m. time because there's not much else on my calendar yet. So it does make a treat to gather with folks here on these Tuesday mornings. So thanks for being here live. I know we are recording, so happy to share this with people who are not free at 8 a.m. on a Tuesday morning and want to watch it later. I'm delighted to join you today as a newer member of EO. I'm excited to share a little bit about what I do and my business, but also how what I know can be helpful to you, to your business, to your colleagues and friends, your family, your staff, and hopefully you'll leave with some new ideas of how you can make music part of your day and part of your relationships, maybe a little bit more than you are already. So we're going to do a little bit of a Prezi view this morning at 8 a.m. I thought this would be a nice way to move through. So I'm hoping if I can just get a thumbs up that you can see my screen. You can make it bigger if the words are small. Awesome. Great. Thanks. So just a quick...
Wait, hold on. So I think we're supposed to be, maybe if we pin you,
I can do that for you.
camera,
Yeah.
basically.
Thanks.
Because right now it just shows your camera view.
How about that? Oh, do you see my screen inside though? It's not slides separate, it slides in my screen. So I will move through my slides and you're just looking at my video. Do you see it, Dave?
Yes, I had to hit pin, but
Oh, it didn't. Okay. So the other way I can do this, I can try to spotlight it.
Sorry, it's good. I got it now. I just want to make sure everybody else was there too.
Here we go. Let's try spotlight for everyone. Now it should show up for everybody. Okay, great.
Thank you.
So just to do a quick introduction, the title for our presentation today is It's Never Just a Song and How Music Can Move Us Towards Presence, Connection, and Health. I've been doing this work for a very long time. I'm in my 21st year of being a board certified music therapist. And what I appreciate more and more about my work as a music therapist is how it brings us together as people and how music invites us. I don't know if I can mute some others, but somebody's got some background noise. I think it might be there. So how music invites us to really step into presence with each other in a way that not everything else does. Many people talk about trying to practice mindfulness and trying to be in the moment. Music calls us into that in a very natural way, in ways that may not be natural for other folks. So that's really the topic I want to share with you today is how we can use music in those ways. So I am a clinician at heart. I am a board certified music therapist. My degree is actually in music therapy. Yes, there's a degree for that. And we study music and psychology and the interactions of music and health and behavior. My clinical areas of expertise are with the young children you see here on the screen. Early childhood, babies, toddlers, preschoolers is my jam, as is working with folks with intensive developmental disabilities, folks with medical complexities, folks who generally do not use words to communicate, but absolutely love to communicate through music. And so those are my two clinical areas of expertise. As Roman Music Therapy Services has grown over the years, though, as our staff has grown, we serve birth through end-of-life care, and we'll share a little bit about that as we go through the slide. But we do have a broad range of practice. If you haven't heard of music therapy before, we define it as the specialized use of music to restore, maintain, and improve cognitive, emotional, social, communicative, and physiological functioning. So it is not music for music learning's sake. Music educators teach music because there's value in learning music and experiencing music. Music therapists use music for all kinds of non-musical goals. So we use music very intentionally and active music making, active music listening to facilitate inner change and interpersonal change as well. And to become a music therapist, there are actually a number of different qualifications. First, you need to get a degree in a music therapy program and an approved music college program. Sometimes you'll hear folks say, oh, I do music therapy, I play guitar with these folks, but that's not music therapy if you don't have the background and the training in music and psychology and all the pieces that we study. We do a 900-hour music therapy clinical internship. So folks can go around the country. We have an internship site at our location and do their training to continue to grow in the clinical practice. We have a national board certification, so we take a test nationally, and that's what qualifies us as a board certified music therapist. And in many states, there are licenses. In Massachusetts, we do not currently have a state license, but in many states, that also is a requirement to practice. And for us to have our MTVC, we must get 100 continuing aid credits every 5 years. So there's a lot of continuing education involved in our work as well. I want to start with a rhythmic reset for you and thinking about all of us as entrepreneurs and how can this idea of music support us? And if you could just take a second and if you are able to chat into the chat, feel free to put in there how you already use music to support yourself. What are some of the ways that you actively, consciously think of bringing music into your day, into your work day, into your family time? Um, I think we've become consumers of music in our world in a way in which we no longer see ourselves as active participants in music. Even if you think about looking for music, it's just whatever the AI bot says we're going to like today. It's not necessarily us going to the record store and flipping through records with our friends and talking about this song or talking about that song. We hardly even listen to the radio anymore. So it's hard to find new music in the way that we consume music in this day and age. And so I think it's really valuable to think about our personal relationship with music. What is it currently? What do we want it to be? Music can be a way to fill the space for sure. It can be for entertainment. It can be to set a mood. All of those things are helpful. Bill, did you want to make a comment? Oh, no, you're good. Okay. But certainly we want to think about how music can help improve and enhance our well-being, our physical well-being, our emotional well-being, our cognitive well-being. There's actually a role for that in all of it. So I just want to make it really clear. Again, I'm a music therapist. You do not have to be a professional musician to get benefit out of music. You do not have to be the concert pianist who can sit down at the piano at the fancy hotel and play a wonderful song for music to be part of your life. There's actually lots of different ways that you can bring music in to be part of your day. So think about music as a tool for motivation. There are those spots in our day we all know when we sort of go, energy level is going down, focus is going down. Put on a soundtrack that can help you stay motivated, stay engaged. Give yourself an opportunity for relaxation with music. I saw Sandra put on here to sleep. Lately, I've been trying out delta waves to sleep to see if that helps bring my heart rate down a little bit while I'm sleeping. Guided meditations with music can be very helpful to go to sleep if we have that overactive brain at night. Also, focus and productivity. I have a soundtrack when I need to write. If I'm doing some writing tasks, I picked this up in grad school where I started a writing playlist, and I still go back to that playlist all the time when I need to do some writing. For me, it's instrumental bluegrass music. For you, it might be something totally different. But what we want to do is cue the brain that now is time to do this. Whenever I'm listening to instrumental bluegrass, I can type out as quickly as that music is going, and I lock into writing. Creativity as well, putting together a playlist that's going to inspire you for the year. You can have your 2025 playlist and think about what you want to achieve in that year. What are your goals for the year and build a playlist around that. Confidence. Many of you have probably heard of Amy Cuddy and the power poses. You know, how do we physiologically tell our bodies that, yes, I've got this? We can use a timed piece of music for that too. For me, it's Rocky. And it's the Maynard Ferguson version on trumpet, right? You know, so what is that song that's going to help you channel the emotions that you want to get into? And what can help you release the emotions? Sometimes things aren't going the way that we want them to, and we just need the music to meet us in that space. So you might want a playlist of, man, everything stinks right now. Today was a lousy day. I'm frustrated with my employees. I'm frustrated with my team. Whatever that might be, you can also build that into a playlist and release some of that. Many of us, I think, in this space in EO have very active brains. We're active physically, we're active cognitively, and music can help us regulate. It can help us shift from one zone to another zone. And I think if we think about it a little bit more actively, we could find some very useful tools there. I already spoke a little about environmental cues. That's when the music's going in the space and it says to you, hey, it's time to do this. Musical cues work really well. We use them in early childhood all the time, right? It's like time to brush our teeth, time to go to bed. You can use those in your family. We can use those for ourselves as well. And I'll just address the time management and physical activity. Time management, music has time built into it. So you can pick a song and give yourself a challenge of, I'm going to take a shower within 2 songs this morning. I'm going to get in and out because I got stuff to do. Or I'm going to give myself a 5-minute email break. I'm going to work on emails for 5 minutes and I'm going to move on. Put on those tracks that you know are going to give you the time length that you want. And when it's done, it's time to close that chapter and move on to your next activity. And then physical activity we know is important for all of us to get up, to get moving, to be moving around. Music can help us, especially if we don't like to move. So think about how music could be a playlist that gets you going on a walk or gets you going at the gym and helps you move through your day. Shifting to presence, and I mentioned what I think is one of the greatest gifts of music. We use music in lots of different ways to connect with loved ones and to help families connect. So I want you to think about the people in your life, and we're going to go through a quick little round of pictures here of folks throughout the lifespan. But I want you to think about who are the people in your daily life, in your world, where maybe infusing some music into that relationship could bring something a little bit different. This is a picture of our work in the NICU. Our team does work in the NICU, working with babies and their families. So we're using music to help the infants regulate their breathing and their heart rates. We're also helping the parents understand how music can bond and attach and create connection, even in an environment that is not ideal for infants and families. We do a lot of work with babies and toddlers. As I said, that's my clinical expertise. And so we do a lot focusing on emotional bonding and attachment between children and parents, a lot on emotional development, language and communication development. Music can help with physical, motor skills, all of those things. So there's lots of ways you can bring that into working with your children. Even as our kids grow and get a little bit older and a little bit older, there's lots of ways we can use music to connect. So we do a lot of work with music and children with disabilities. So if you have a child who is struggling with reading or struggling with focus and attention or struggling with communication and motor skills, music can be really helpful to build into the routines and sometimes into the educational environment. We do work on IEPs and we work within special education programs. Even if you have a teenager, music can be a great way to connect with them. And instead of saying, no, my music in the car, not your music, I'm driving, you can say, well, what kind of music are you listening to right now? And like, you can put some boundaries on that. I don't want to listen to X, Y, and Z. But let's talk about your music. What are you into? For teenagers, music is their identity. So think about how you can validate and expand that. Talk to your niece and nephew, talk to the grandkids, talk to whoever's in your world and say, what's on your playlist right now? Or if you're really into Spotify, you can say, what's on your day list? And Spotify day list takes AI and predicts what it thinks you want to listen to at that day and time in the week. So you can ask a kid, what's on your day list and see what's on my day list, and that can be a way to connect and have conversations. We do a lot of work with adults with disabilities, as well as adults in the workplace, and then working a lot with aging seniors. If any of you are supporting aging adults in your family, music is an incredibly effective way to connect. If you're not playing music on visits with a family member or a loved one in memory care, I encourage you to try it. Think about the memories and the songs that are most important in their life, in your relationship. Create a little playlist. Put the songs on, talk about the songs, and I'm happy to talk with any of you more if you have specific situations that you'd like to learn more about. But just know that music is retained in the brain in the deepest part of the brain. And so when other cognitive challenges, whether it's at any point in the lifespan, but whenever there are cognitive challenges, music can help bypass those neural pathways and create new pathways. So music is really helpful in that regard. So think about how you could use recorded music. Again, you don't have to be a professional musician to do this. You can use music to shift the mood or the energy. Anybody that has school-age kids at home knows that 5 to 7 o'clock in the afternoon can be a nightmare. Can we put on some music for that 3 to 7 o'clock time period and just bring things down? Or a Saturday morning when the energy is really high. Think about the soundtrack you want to create within your families and start talking about the music more. What do people like about that song? What are they interested in? And you can also document your family memories through music. What are the songs that have been significant for your family over the years? And how do you honor that? How do you share that together as a family? We took a 4-week cross-country road trip with our kids in our RV a couple of years ago. And one of the things we did is we started a playlist of the people you meet on the way. And so every person we met in a restaurant, in a store, we'd start asking them, what song should we add to our playlist? And we created this really cool soundtrack, totally random, of all the people we met along the way. And we remember, oh, that was the woman from the boot store in Austin. Do you remember that? So we have this, I don't listen to it often on straight play. It's weird, but it's a great opportunity to think and look back at the memories that we made on that particular trip. You can also bring live music into it. You don't have to be the performer, but go attend some concerts, go to theater. Sometimes I'll look for where's live music happening at a restaurant. We're going to go out on Friday night, but I want to go somewhere that has music. So let's find a place where there's a guitarist or a singer. Learning a new instrument as we age is one of the best ways to keep our brain going at high speed and making those neural connections. So find a way to pick up guitar, pick up the ukulele, super easy instrument to play. That's a ukulele back there, really fun sounding instrument, easy to play. There's also choirs out there that don't require you to be a strong musician. If you haven't heard of Rock Voices, check out Rock Voices. My sister and her husband, who are not musical beings, recently joined. They rehearse every week for, I think it's 8 weeks, and then they have a big concert. And they're learning traditional, not traditional, but popular songs with a certain theme. They have a live band playing in their concert, and the concerts are a blast. So if you don't feel like signing up yet, check out Rock Voices online, go to one of their performances, and then think about maybe if you want to get involved as well. And then think about your local high school productions. They're easy, they're local, they're cheap, and they're usually really, really great performances. My kids do a lot of musical theater, and when I go into the theater and I'm helping people sit down, I often talk to folks and I ask them, how did you find this? Oh, we just saw it in the newspaper. Thought it would be nice to come. And I always check in with them at the end. They always have a great time. And then the next year they come back. So look up what you can do in a really simple, easily integrated way into your day and your life. To talk briefly about staff, one of my areas of expertise is around early childhood mental health. And when I started studying early childhood, we're talking infant, toddler mental health. How do we impact and move the needle for our young people to be healthier? And the way to do that is through the adults who care for them. And so it actually started in this space of how do we help adults so that we can help the world? And I started to develop programs for employers. So our Staff Beats program goes into the workplace to use music and creative expression in a way to connect employees with each other to help make our world a healthier place. So I just want to share a little bit about some of the things you can do with your team and why. So if we think about music bringing presence, it also can create connection and it can help bring people together. Historically, music has always done that for people. So if you want to think about your team, think about some of these areas that could bring a new opportunity to come together. Cultivating a sense of belonging. We'll do a playlist in a minute. You can use that idea with your team. Creating some shared memories and connections with each other. Integrating joy into the workplace. There's no reason why we can't have fun together, right? Let's bring some fun in. Let's set some things up differently. We can facilitate meaningful conversations. You can take a song that you think is relevant to the experience your team is having, play the song, talk about the lyrics, play the song again. Can we shift the way we're thinking about a situation that's happening at work when we start to think about it in the context of music and creativity? You can also build in musical rituals. I don't know how many people sing happy birthday with their staff. I know Rotary clubs that do it as terribly as they can, and that's their ritual. In our team, we break into 7/8 part harmony, and we record it because it's so beautiful. And it's one of the highlights of our month because our team is together and we're all singing together. Doesn't happen all the time. And our happy birthday is just phenomenal. Never the same way twice. People go all different directions, but it's always a beautiful rendition. Music also primes the brain for learning and creativity. Part of the reason I wanted to play music when you were all coming in this morning is because it actually does prime us. It gets our brains kind of juiced up and the energy going. It changes our physiological state to make us more relaxed, to make us more open to learning, and also to create sympathetic vibrations, if you will, between all of us. So we sort of lock in just because the music is playing before we get started. You can use it as a way to start a meeting, and it can be incredibly effective. You can mark milestones with some celebrations on your team, and you can also use this to reinforce company culture and values. In our team, we have a culture song that we took our culture and our values and we wrote it into a song. So there's lots of ways that you can do that as well. A couple of things that you can do easily, I think, and if you need help, let me know. But what you can do in your environment is do some collaborative playlist building. Group drumming experiences are very accessible to folks. You can do what we call Mad Lib songwriting, where you take maybe that song that's related to an important issue going on in your workplace, take out certain words, just like a Mad Lib, and have your team fill in those words, and then sing the song together with your new words in it. Or you can start with an original songwriting. We do that a lot. You can do it with a blues style. If you're comfortable with the guitar and you can play the blues, you can write a blues very easily with your team. Also using music for relaxation, just saying to everybody, hey, we're going to take a 2-minute pause this afternoon. If you want to join me in the conference room, I'm going to play this. The piece of music I started with is Stephen Bennett. He's a harp guitar player. His stuff is phenomenal. You can just play a 3-minute song and just put our heads on the desk and everybody, we're just going to reset this afternoon. And then also music facilitated communication, as I mentioned earlier, being able to talk about what's going on in a different way. We talk about how music helps the plane land. You can be talking and talking and talking and talking in circles, but music can help that plane come down and land as a group. So I wanted to take a minute for us to create a collaborative playlist, and I'd love to hear if anybody has any thoughts on what kind of playlist you would like to have. I have lots of ideas for playlists, but I'm curious if there's some sort of topic or time in your day that you would love to see us create a playlist for. So feel free to unmute or to type into the chat.
I'd be down for a work playlist, something when you're reading your emails or something not too distracting.
Perfect. So some background music to help focus during work time?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So what I'm going to do, I have this QR code here on my screen. If you can go scan that on your phone, we will build a collaborative playlist. And actually, I'll drop it in the, hey, Hugh, good to see you. I'm going to drop it into the chat as well for folks who can't do the QR code. If you're on,
I'm actually on my phone, so I don't know how to scan it.
There you
Scan
go.
it from my phone.
Yep, Hugh, I just thought of that when I saw you prop on. So there's the link. You can click on that form and put in any song ideas that will help you relax. It can be a genre and a style of music, and I'll go find some. Or you could put in a particular artist. You could put in a particular song that you know helps you focus and concentrate. Add that onto the list, and we'll start to build it out. And what you'll find is there's going to be a few different styles of music. One might work really well for you, another one might not. So I'd encourage you to kind of take some time to listen to the music, do your own self-assessment, what songs work for me, and then build playlists around the songs that you're learning. So go ahead and take a minute to put those tracks in. Sandra, I see James Taylor. I will add that down. Do you have a particular song, Sandra? You can type or unmute. And Bill, I'm going to capture your list here that you put in the chat as well. Let's see if we can share some other playlists here with you. Our team does have some collaborative playlists that we've created, our music therapists have created. I am focused, I am calm, I am joyful. We'll send those out to you as well. If you put your email into that form, I'll send you out some playlists that you can use that we've already put together, but it's always fun to do this. All right, perfect. I see it, Sandra. You've got a friend and sweet baby James. Spanish guitar for sure, Dave. I am a big fan of Spanish guitar as well. All right, I'm typing these.
I don't know much. Like, I'd love it if you could send me your favorites.
Yeah,
That's also
absolutely.
great cooking music, Spanish guitar. I think.
It is. It is. All right, I'm just capturing these ones down.
I'm trying to start dance party dinner Tuesdays here in our house because it's pizza night.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that actually dances, so it's not working all that well. Maybe it's the music selection. I don't know.
So you could have the group create a little dance party selection.
Yeah, the group.
Like let's add some.
The group is my wife and me.
Okay, perfect. So Dave needs some dance party music. I'm going to find the name of it. My husband is from South America and they call it a bachanga or something like that. I'm going to look it up.
Yes.
And that's the dance party. Yeah.
Name.
Yeah.
That's
So they call it something fancy, and that is your house dance party. I'll get the name for you.
A bachanga.
I think I might be wrong. Let me confirm that. But
nope. I like it. I don't even know if it has a meaning.
We've done that in our house, and we've also done karaoke parties in our house, which have been really fun, and it has become our go-to for New Year's Eve parties, actually. Everyone knows that we hosted an awesome New Year's Eve karaoke night.
But even if people are not dancing, they're still hearing that music. They're dancing in their heads.
That's right.
And they're judging. They're judging. They're judging the moves.
Well, I'll also say one of the tricks that we have in music therapy is that the neural pathways, if we're watching someone do something, our brain is firing off in exactly the same way, even if you're not doing it. So if someone is dancing and having a good time to music and I'm watching, my brain is still getting the same benefits, even if I'm not doing it. So you can tell yourself that everybody is benefiting, even if they're not all dancing.
I'm making the world a better place. Thank you.
So dance like everybody's watching.
All right, I'm just going to go to my last slide here and share with you my contact information on LinkedIn. If we're not already connected, I'd certainly love to connect on LinkedIn. And we have just a couple minutes left. I don't see Louise here, so we have a minute for questions. If anybody has any questions or anything that you'd like to chat more about, I hope this has given you some ideas and sparked some thinking around how you can use music effectively for yourself, for your families, and for your teams. But happy to answer any questions that you may have.
My daughter has gone through a lot of trauma, and music is her way out. So I'd love to touch base with you because she's training to be a voice coach. She's performed great music. She's been produced by the same person as Colby Calais, but COVID crushed her. So
yeah, I would love to talk more, Chick. Music is such an effective tool for folks who have gone through challenges in their lives, and music and their relationship to music, when that can be repaired, is reparative for the whole system, right? And for our world. And so, yes, I'm very open to setting up a call, Chick, and we could talk further.
So is Roman music therapy?
Yeah, Roman Music Therapy Services. My email is first initial last name. And you can also find me on the EO boards.
Great.
I remember when she released her single, Chuck.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was cool.
Nice. I'm actually getting into some work with some other folks too, looking at music and brain health and how we can support brain health. And I wonder, Chick, if there's a way for that to, is it Chick?
Sorry.
Jill said
Chuck. I'm just a bad typist.
Chuck. So I wonder if there's a way, Chuck, for us to connect about that too.
Thank you. But maybe we'll hold on. I'll get your number
Great.
at the end.
I'll pop my cell phone number into the chat here. Any other thoughts, comments, or takeaways? What are you going to do with music tomorrow that you didn't think of before?
I really love the on the road playlist. I think that's a cool idea.
Yeah, that was good.
And ironically, I just got a brand new RV, and I just took my first trip, my practice trip this week.
Love it.
And I'm like, I like that. I met a lot of people. That'd be a fun question to ask because I would totally do that.
It's such a good conversation starter.
Mm-hmm. It is. Really think about it too. Even just getting to know someone. What's your song? I'm working with a branding specialist, and I don't know if it was just because of me, but she's like, so what are your go-to songs right now for you, for your personal brand? And what songs define your business? What are the songs that you would use for your business? Even thinking about that was really cool. And I'm a music therapist, but it was the branding specialist who asked me, what song does your business stand for? It was kind of cool.
Thank you, Meredith. I got to go. Bye.
Thanks, everybody. I appreciate everyone being on here. Sandra, I'd love to talk RVing sometime.
I would love that. I would love that. And I'm sorry I've been so silent, but I've had no choice but to multitask.
No worries. Thanks for joining, everybody.
Yeah. So if I could, if you could stay, hang on.
Absolutely, Chuck.
My wife and I are the Jewish and Mrs. Santa Claus of Sudbury, Massachusetts for about 15 years. And we do a Williams syndrome party every single year. And they are incredibly musical, as you know.
Yep, I've worked with a lot of clients with Williams syndrome. Yep.
So are you in Massachusetts?
I am. So our office is in Wakefield.
Oh, got it. Okay, we're Sudbury. What else I think of? And we went to an assisted living home, and I'm Santa Claus, and I go to some woman and memory stuff, and I go, "Hi, how are you?"